On April 1st, 1982, in Lawrenceville, Georgia, a woman named Angela Cavallo ran outside after hearing her son scream. Her son, Tony, had been repairing a Chevrolet Impala beneath the family carport. The jack slipped. The car collapsed. The vehicle pinned him beneath its frame. Neighbors later reported seeing Angela run toward the car and somehow lift part of it high enough for others to pull Tony free. The story spread everywhere. A mother lifts a car to save her child. An ordinary person performs an impossible act. For decades, these stories accumulated. People tearing doors from hinges. Parents lifting vehicles. Individuals displaying strength they never possessed before. Most people call it hysterical strength, but there is a problem. Almost none of these stories agree with each other. Some are exaggerated. Some were retold for decades. Some probably never happened at all. And yet, beneath the mythology sits a more disturbing possibility. What if the human body is already capable of producing significantly more force than it normally allows? And what if the thing holding it back is you? Humans are strange machines, because unlike a car engine, the body isn't designed to extract maximum performance. It is designed to survive. Imagine flooring a car permanently. The engine would eventually destroy itself. Metal overheats, components fail, something breaks. Your body faces the same problem, except instead of pistons and gears, it uses muscle fibers, tendons, and bones. And unlike machines, these components repair slowly. If your nervous system allowed maximum force output every time you picked up groceries, climbed up stairs, or opened the door, you would destroy yourself. So evolution installed limits, invisible limits. Take your quadriceps, the massive muscles running along the front of your thigh, or your gastrocnemius, the large calf muscle that propels you forward while running, or the gluteus maximus, one of the largest muscles in the human body. These muscles contain thousands of motor units. A motor unit is a bundle of muscle fibers controlled by a single nerve cell. Normally, your nervous system recruits these units gradually. Small tasks recruit small numbers. Larger efforts recruit more. Even during maximal effort, evidence suggests the body may not recruit every available fiber simultaneously. Not because it can't, but because doing so can be dangerous. Inside your tendons are structures called Golgi tendon organs, tiny biological sensors. Their job is surprisingly simple: prevent you from tearing yourself apart. If tension becomes excessive, they begin reducing muscular activation, essentially acting like emergency brakes. They physically stop you from using your muscles, even if you want to. For decades, researchers believed that these structures were among the major mechanisms preventing catastrophic injury, though modern research suggests the story is likely more complex. The brain itself appears heavily involved, meaning your limits may not exist solely in the muscles, they may exist in perception. In the late 20th century, researchers began exploring something called central governor theory, proposed by South African exercise scientist Tim Noakes. The idea was controversial. According to the theory, fatigue isn't merely muscle failure, it's protective regulation. The brain continuously predicts damage before damage occurs, and then it reduces output, not because the body is empty, but because the body is trying to preserve itself. The theory remains debated, but the underlying principle has become increasingly difficult to ignore. Your brain is involved in deciding how much of yourself you can access. And how do we know this? Because something very strange happens during extreme emergencies. The rules change.
A woman is trapped in an overturned SUV.
It's flipped upside down.
What happens next is superhuman. The body cam goes to black as the deputy lifts the 3,500-pound SUV to free the woman. You hear him grunting at the top of his lungs.
I'm trying to get out!
When humans perceive immediate danger, the sympathetic nervous system activates. Adrenal glands sitting above the kidneys release epinephrine and norepinephrine, better known as adrenaline and noradrenaline. They are chemical messengers, molecules released into the bloodstream that rapidly change the body's priorities. Heart rate increases, blood vessels constrict, breathing accelerates. Blood flow shifts towards skeletal muscle, the muscles attached to your bones that actually move your body. Meanwhile, glucose floods into the circulation. Normally, much of it remains stored inside the liver and muscles as glycogen. Now, the body begins breaking those reserves apart, dumping fast excess energy into the bloodstream. The body stops thinking about tomorrow. Everything becomes now. Within seconds, the human body becomes chemically different. Pupils dilate, reaction times shift, pain perception decreases. Fear changes attention itself. Many survivors later describe events feeling slow, as if time itself had stretched. It It didn't. Their brains simply began processing information differently. There are documented examples of extraordinary performance under stress. Not superhuman, extraordinary. During military engagements, soldiers have continued functioning after injuries that should have immediately incapacitated or even killed them. On September 25, 1944, during Operation Market Garden near Arnhem in Netherlands, British Major Robert Henry Kane continued fighting despite multiple injuries, including damaged eardrums from repeated close-range explosions and wounds from enemy fire and shrapnel. At one point, he reportedly carried anti-tank ammunition between positions while under direct attack. For his actions, he later received the Victoria Cross, not because his body ignored damage, but because under extreme circumstances, the body can temporarily postpone the build. Athletes show similar examples. During the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta, American gymnast Carrie Strug injured her ankle during competition.
The bad news didn't end there. Strug had heard a snap.
She then performed a second vault, landed on an already damaged leg, and helped secure the team gold medal before collapsing moments afterward.
The US had their first gold medal in the team all-around.
Doctors later confirmed significant ligament injury. Again, not hidden superpowers, just a nervous system suddenly changing its priorities. In emergency situations, people have exerted forces far exceeding what they believed possible. But here, things become messy, because measuring hysterical strength scientifically is almost impossible. Researchers cannot ethically recreate life-threatening emergencies inside laboratories. You cannot trap someone's child beneath a vehicle. You cannot trap someone's child beneath a vehicle and attach sensors, which means much of the phenomenon exists at the edge of science. Part physiology, part anecdote, part uncertainty. And uncertainty attracts mythology. Stories began multiplying, mothers lifting cars, people bending steel, humans suddenly unlocking hidden power. Soon the idea transformed into something else entirely. The belief that humans secretly use only a fraction of their strength. Or worse, that we use only a fraction of our brains. The famous 10% myth.
And you know how they say that we can only access 20% of our brain? Well, what this does, it lets you access all of it.
But that's not what the evidence suggests. You are not carrying a hidden superpower. You are carrying restrictions. Those are very different things. Because removing those restrictions completely would be catastrophic. Muscles can generate enormous force, but tendons, joints, and bones have limits. Strongman competitions demonstrate this constantly. Pectoral tears, ruptured biceps, detached tendons. Human tissue breaks. And if your nervous system suddenly decided to stop caring, damage would arrive quickly. The body isn't limiting strength because it's weak. It's limiting strength because it understands consequences, which raises an uncomfortable question. How much of your life operates the same way? Not just muscles, everything. Fear, fatigue, stress, confidence, pain. Every day your brain quietly decides what is safe, what is acceptable, what is survivable, and most of the time you never notice the negotiation happening. Perhaps that's why hysterical strength feels so unsettling, because the stories aren't really about lifting cars, they're about glimpsing into something hidden. For a few seconds, the rules disappear. The mind stops asking permission, the body stops negotiating. And people briefly encounter a stranger living beneath themselves. Not stronger, not superhuman, just less restricted.